Hey, everybody, it's time for another daily drop here on TarHeelIllustrated.com. I'm THI publisher Andrew Jones, and the topic of today's chat is turnover margin. The Tar Heels +7 on the turnover margin, 12-5. Going to give a little comparison to Mac's first four teams and what this team is doing and why the Tar Heels are number 8 nationally in turnover margin. So they have forced 12. They've given away 5. 4 interceptions by Drake Maye, 1 fumble also by Drake. They've intercepted 9 passes, and they've recovered 3 fumbles. They had 4 turnovers, and they forced 4 turnovers, had none themselves in the win over Miami this past weekend to put them at 12-5. This is a very good percentage. Like I said, they're 8th in the country. To compare quickly, last year the Tar Heels were 14-14. 14 forced, 14 given up. In 2021, the disappointing 6-7 season, they were at +2 for the year at 16-14. In 2020, the Orange Bowl year, they were at +2, 13-11. In 2019, the first year of Mac Part 2, the revitalized defense that year, they were +9 at 20-11. So at 12-5, if you work the math, that puts them after 12 games at 24-10. They're going to play 2 more after that. So it looks like they're on pace to force about 28 turnovers. They play 14 games. That's 28 turnovers, 2 a game. That's pretty good. And they're on pace to only turn it over themselves maybe 11 times. 20-11 would be pretty good. They would definitely be in the top 7 or 8 at the end of the season, maybe even a little bit higher than that. So why are the Tar Heels forcing more turnovers? That question came up to Gene Chizik, the defensive coordinator, during Monday's press conferences, and he kind of went into a few reasons, and I'll go ahead and discuss that here. One is communication. He said the communication is just better. They're really good in pre-snap. You don't see chaos in pre-snap with this team very often at all. So they are prepared and respond well and communicate well when they see an offense with a formation, whether they've seen it on film or even haven't seen, they guess well. And they communicate certain aspects of whatever the offense is showing them. Number 2, this is an athletic bunch, and they economize their movement. Part of that is being really good in pre-snap, so when the ball snapped, you are moving properly immediately. If you're a player here, and the runner is over here, and the first thing you do when the ball snap is react poorly and go that way, well, you've got to make that ground up. And by the time you get here, if you had reacted properly at the snap, you'd actually be here. You'd have a much better chance of making the play. They're tackling better. I chart the missed tackles every week. I believe Miami ran 72 plays this past weekend. Carolina had 6 missed tackles. They had 7 the week before against Syracuse. Their missed tackle numbers are very good. And the reason that's important is they're wrapping people up. They're forcing teams into longer distances on each snap. The second downs are longer. The third downs are longer. And the longer the distance is on a down to get to a first down, the more teams have to put the ball in the air, and the more chance that something bad for the offense can happen and good for the defense. Another thing that Gene pointed out is the fact that the guys are just tracking the ball well. And this is the Elijah Huzzie effect. We've talked about that. It's also Marcus Allen. Marcus, I don't believe Marcus has any interceptions, but the bottom line is he covers well. He sees the ball well. So sometimes quarterbacks have to be a little bit more predictable about where they go with the ball, or they force them to make mistakes, like the interception that Cedric Gray had against Miami. Everybody was covered. Tyler Van Dyke was going to go somewhere that was still a tough pass, and lo and behold, the linebacker played it properly, and he's there for the interception. You've also got the fumbles forced. Now, we're still trying to figure out exactly who forced the fumble in the end zone against Miami. You've got one side of the aisle dudes that say it was Javaria Ritchie's knee. Then you've also got the other side of the aisle where people say somehow Bo Atkinson got a hand on it and got the ball loose. Bottom line is they forced the fumble at the goal line. They didn't give up. They went after it. So they've been able to do that as well. 12-5 is a really good number. It's an outstanding number. It's championship number. If they continue with that, they have a chance at having that special season. Look, they lost 147. They had 147 yards of penalties the other day. Chip Lindsey told us that they had almost 100 offensive yards brought back because of penalties. And then you tack on the 147. That's almost 250 yards right there that were affected offensively because of penalties. But how do you offset that? 4-0 in turnovers. Put pressure on the quarterback, which they're doing. Make the quarterback move and change the routes by the quarterback leaving where he normally would like to throw the ball from. That's how you get turnovers. You get teams stressed. That's how you get turnovers. So far, so good. 12-5, that's 2 turnovers forced a game. Last year, they had 1 a game. They played 14 games, 1 turnover forced a game. So they've doubled that. And they've been picking up on those turnovers more lately. I think they're going to have a higher number per game, like maybe 2.3, 2.4, maybe even 2.5 the rest of the way. We'll come back and revisit at the end of the regular season and see where they are. But if they do that, and they could cut down on the turnover or the penalties, if that was just a one-off against Miami, then this team really does have a fantastic shot at having a special season. Turnover margin is usually accompanies a really good team. When you think about all the clubs that are in the CFP or the New Year's Six, they usually have pretty good turnover margins. Right now, Carolina's at 12-5. Carolina fans should be very, very happy about this. This is sort of an unsung aspect about this team's success, of many aspects about this team's success. But this is one to keep an eye on the rest of the year. If it evens out, that's not good for Carolina. That means they'll lose maybe a couple times. If it doesn't and it keeps growing, that means Tar Heels probably going to win 4, 5, maybe even 6 more games before they get to the ACC championship game. And if they do win those games, they'll be in the ACC championship. That's it, guys. 12-5. If you think this is a great turnover margin number and you expect it to get even better, click like on this video. Make sure you share it with your Carolina friends. Let them know we are here, and let them know about our website, TarHeelIllustrated.com, which is just $8.33 a month. Not only do you get to be a Carolina insider, but you also get to hang out in a community of passionate Tar Heel fans like yourself. Not the guy who wears the Carolina stuff and thinks he's passionate but doesn't know who the recruits are. I'm talking about highly passionate people like you. You need to be on over there. It's just $8.33 a month, guys. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you get updates every time we upload, which we do constantly. So you will not be disappointed by getting all those alerts from us that, hey, and THS put up another video, because we do it often. From our shows to the press conferences, interviews, to the stuff that Jacob does, so much variety to what we have to offer here on this channel. I'm AJ, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.